I wonder what, just looking back again, I wonder what your dad might say about what you've done.
He'd probably say, this ain't nothing. You ain't even scratched the surface yet.
Wow. Tell me about the foundation, what you do there.
Well, the foundation was literally born out of necessity. I've had I have tragedy in my life and trauma, and my son too. His father was murdered, and then my dad died 2 years later. And then he's like, I remember the first day he came home from school after my dad passed, and he was like, Mom, today we were supposed to make a Father's Day card, and I had no one to make one for. So, becoming a young black man in America is hard. And when you don't have a man to look up to or talk your troubles out with or your complications out, it's hard. And
I promise you I didn't want to make you cry.
I know, but it's something that needs to be
this.
talked about. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not a man. I don't know how to teach him how to be a man. It was a struggle. And so he started having issues and dealing with his father's death and why. And it came time to look for help. And it was difficult. You know, he's having issues about becoming a black man in America. And you're a nice man. But if he sits on the opposite side of the sofa and tries to talk to you, he's going to hold back. Because of a lot of his issues, the people look like you. And you may come in peace, you know. But see, when you don't have a man to talk to about that, I can't tell him. You know what I mean? It's different coming from a woman. And then he gets to an age point where it's like, you're a girl. You don't know, you know, so... It was time to look. And so when I started looking, it's like, I got to find somebody African American. And I started looking, and it was hard. It was like looking for a unicorn. Then I talked to my best friend, who is the executive director of my foundation. And I was like, who also has had a lifetime suffering with depression and anxiety of herself, and it runs in her family. So I was talking to her about it, and she did the research, and out of all the diplomas and degrees that are given to people in the field of mental health, the number for African Americans was so low. And it bothered me. And I said to her, you know why, right? And she was like, yeah. I said, because we don't talk about it in our community. My white friends, I have a standing appointment with my therapist. Girl, I'll see you after 3:00. And I'm like, well, geez, I want a standing appointment, you know. I need one, you know. And so I was frustrated. I was like, because we don't talk about it. It's taboo in our community. We got to break that ice.
For black men especially.
Oh, especially.
It is like admitting you're weak. Or
you're deemed as weak, or you are misdiagnosed. Or oftentimes we're told to pray it away. Just pray it away and it'll be all better, you know. And it's not that easy. Or we're demonized because we have so much rage, which we have a lot of reasons to have all of this rage. But if you are culturally incompetent, then you don't know where this rage is coming from. Then a lot of times we get misdiagnosed. So there are a lot of trust issues. So there are a lot of things a lot of hurdles to leap over. But what I will say, the one thing I wanted to do was just bring attention to it, break the ice, take the tape off, and because we're suffering, and it took for someone like me, for someone that people look up to and they trust and they admire, to say, hey, you know what? I need a therapist. I have a therapist. It's okay to talk about, because the misconception of celebrities is that we got money and we're living our best life and we're living out our dreams, so life is perfect. But what you fail to realize is that what you see on camera is very different from when I go home. When they yell cut or it's a wrap, I have issues just like everybody else. And money doesn't make them go away. Success doesn't make them go away. If anything, it amplifies them.
Well, because then there's so much more pressure on you to be the role model, right?
All of that.
And to be the role model means you've always got to show that you're on top of things, you're in charge, you can handle it.
Or not even a role model, just your life being looked at under a microscope and everything being picked apart by people you don't even know and people that don't even really care about you. You know, it's tough. It's tough. So, you know, I have to speak to someone, and it can't be just your friends. You know, you need a professional. You need someone with a total objective, unbiased opinion. But you need to have someone who understands your struggles. You know, they have to be culturally competent.
And what you said about your character, you can't judge.
You can't.
If you're going to do someone a service, you need to believe that they're telling you the truth, and that you don't have to have an opinion on that.
Absolutely.
You're there to listen and to help them.
And give some constructive criticism, or maybe some exercises to help them get through whatever challenges they may have. And everything doesn't need to be cured with a pill. And I think that's why a lot of, especially black men, are scared, because a lot of those pills make you make your sexual drive go away.
Drives it down.
Yeah, so it's a lot.